Hi from Alex, and today I want to make a video about my journey into YouTube and like what I have learned for past 2 weeks about how to make the studio for YouTube production. And I think if you start looking at the YouTube, it's so much, it's like which camera to use, which microphone, lights and stuff like this. So here I want to actually summarize what I actually came up with for the result that you actually see in this video. So let's start it. So number one is actually I will put this, I will categorize it in the hardware, software, and settings. So let's start from the hardware. I think number one, obviously for YouTube, TikTok, or wherever, you need a camera. And when you start looking for a camera, you will find out that it is a Sony, it is Nikon, whatever, like Fuji, and iPhone and Android. So it's a really like zoo, and like it's so much. Like some cameras can do 4K, some not. So actually my decision so far is just use the iPhone 13 mini. I think it's actually an amazing camera, and it has a cinematic mode out of the box, so it's really easy to start. Plus I think it's super cool because you can actually just quickly drop the files over the AirDrop, or they have this software that you can do it for over the wire. And number two is actually the microphone, and I use pretty cheap microphone, and I will actually apply the Adobe AI tools to make the sounds like a studio sounds, because I have a lot of echo here. And if you want to make a proper studio, I think it's pretty expensive and time consuming, plus you have to probably have a dedicated room for this. We'll see how it goes, but so far I just think the cheap microphone external is good enough. And number three is actually lighting, and here I think I bought actually the Elgato keylight. I mean, it's fine, it's not perfect, but I think it's good enough, so you can see the picture. At least if you have one light, you have a properly lighted your face. I also like to use some kind of backlights, but it's up to you. I think this is one that actually need to be, you need to spend some money on this one. So, and number four, obviously, in this hardware part is actually the devices. So MacBook or iPad, if you have, I think it's amazing. So actually, I use MacBook M1, and I think when you edit stuff, it's like it's pay the price, because I used to work on a Dell XPS, quite old machine. I mean, it doesn't have a dedicated GPU camera, or GPU hardware, so it was super slow. So it's like, no. But this one, like for this kind of video for 4 minutes, I think the editing would be like super nice and rendering super quick. And then we go to the software part. Here is more interesting. You start looking at the different camera apps that can help you to use your iPhone more like, for a full throttle, so to speak. And there's a few options actually. Is like a Filmic Pro or like camera app from the moment. I tried kind of both. I mean, Filmic Pro gets quite expensive, and the subscription model, people don't like it. But actually I found for starting things, I think camera from the iPhone is actually good enough. So it has the cinematic mode, and you can edit this. So it's a much more things rather than just you use this third party apps, and then it makes things complex and takes more time. So next part is actually editing apps, and I look at the few of them. It's like, we have iMovie. For some reason, I don't know, you can't edit in the vertical mode. So, but then you have DaVinci, which is I think free and super powerful, but maybe pretty complicated for a newbie like me. And actually, I will keep using the VN. I think it's actually quite great app. It feels like they've done it in a mobile first approach. So they've done it for tablets and then moved to the apps for MacBooks. So it's nice, it's easy to use, and it's pretty fast to render as well. And then we have a question like how to transfer the data to the Mac. I think this is a quite critical part for YouTube, because everything, if you want to make this simple videos, takes so much time. So I think I use this called image capture from Mac, and I think of the wire, it's still quite quick. You can use AirDrop, but I mean, I like this in the Mac ecosystem. You have some kind of free built-in tools that help you to do media stuff. And then I will try this Adobe AI tool that actually help you to make the audio more like a studio professional one. Let's see how it goes. I will apply on this video as well. And number three is actually settings. When you have this hardware and you have a software, then there's like how to use a microphone. I put this microphone here, and then I try to use it, like around -12 decibel for my voice. And then when I will apply the music on the background, I think the rule is like 30-35% as out of the volume for background music. So it's clearly you hear your voice, but it's some nice music on the background. And then a video. For iPhone, I will experiment with the 4K because iPhone mini can't do 4K in cinematic mode, but now I'm recording in cinematic mode. I kind of like it because it's make this background quite blurry and it's kind of, the file is not so big. So yeah, just cinematic mode, that's it. And then I also use the grid. You can place the grid so you can see where you put yourself on the camera. I guess the gold rule is your eyes should be in the third part of the video. So yeah, that's actually the setup for a video. And then lights, I have one key light on right, and it's like a 45 degree angle. And then I have kind of background lights, but it really depends on your studio, like is it day or night, where you have the lights. But general rule, I think if you can set the 3 lights point, so like one here, one ceiling light and something on the background, it's more than enough for, beginners. And then, conclusion, I spent a couple of weeks to just, research this topic. I found that a lot of YouTubers, they make a review about new camera, but you feel like they have a link to Amazon, which is a kind of referral code, and it's okay, but it means like they still try to sell you stuff, and maybe that you don't need it, because when I look at these Sony cameras, they're amazing, but they're pretty expensive. So what you will really get for paying $5,000 extra for camera, for lens, for setup, but if you just have an iPhone, I think it will be a much better, not better, much better, but it will be better. But if you're a beginner, do you really need this? Because they will show you this camera, it's nice, and feel, but I think we have to be really careful and try to actually make it kind of iteration, step by step. So start with the devices that you have, and then look at the image, look at the reaction on YouTube, and actually improve it if you feel like people, this is really bad quality. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I will keep pushing my channel, and idea of this channel is actually not talking about the video production and lighting, cameras, whatever. It's more about the developing software as an entrepreneur. So as you might know, I kind of get used to working in different startups and building apps and try to promote it and stuff like this. So I like to use modern tools like Firebase or like some kind of Copilot to speed up the process. I also use Veeam. So kind of things that help you deliver the value and wrap it in the right package. And also part of this actually YouTube channel is create a nice channel to deliver this value to the users. So hi again, and actually this ending of the video will be in 4K without any AI, voice enhancement from the Adobe. And I actually, during the editing, I realized that the sound was not so good, like it feels like I have a cold. But I would like to keep it like this, because my idea next one is actually educate myself in video editing and improve it over time so we can actually compare over the time. So please subscribe and stay tuned. Best of Alex.